December the 14th, 2025. Guys, you're looking at satellite from this morning going up to the current time now, 3:21 p.m. Central Time. You're seeing a very cold Arctic dip. You see that right there? You call it a vortex, but this dip is coming from the Arctic, and you can see where it's spreading out. Now, last night, sometimes after midnight, we had a deluge, guys. It came in here. We got a metal roof, and it was like one of the hardest rains I remember in a long time. I don't know how many inches we got, but it was powerful rain. It was that cold air came in and cleared all the clouds out last night. Right now it's beautiful, sunny, crystal clear blue skies. Here it is 41. Feels like 35. But tonight, guys, it's going to be very cold, especially along the Gulf coast states. And actually what you're seeing is, if you look into the northern section here, there's a lot of lake effect snow getting blown through here. That's how cold that area is. And we've had some gusts today that were pretty strong, and they could be in our area 25, 30 miles per hour tonight. Very cold and very far south. Now, this is about Atlas and a couple of other things, but this is important enough to put at the beginning of this video, so you guys just bear with me. Now, looking at where the moisture is, everything's pushed off, and notice how we've got a lot of moisture. As soon as all of this gets off land, back over the water, look at the amount of rain and everything there. And this storm that you see at the beginning of this, and it was small, but it was powerful this morning. Also, you can see the lake effect snow in the lighter shades right here. It's cold up there, but it's going to be cold all through the U.S. now. Not as cold as it's going to be up in, I'm sure, in Montana and places like that. But, guys, there's offshore small craft warnings, gale warnings, things like that. You don't want to be out in this water. I've been caught out there in the Gulf and in this type of wind, and it would be very calm near the shore because the wind's pushing everything backwards. But once you get out about a half a mile or so, things get into 10-foot waves real quick. Now, it's happened to me a couple of times. But anyway, the temperatures are what's going to be dangerous for us here in the South. Let's take a look at that. Now, switching over to the National Weather Service, all of this light blue areas that you're seeing, guys, is extreme temperature. The dark purple areas are coming out of Texas into south central Louisiana. These are freeze warnings, but the temperature, that has to be below 32, right? This is going to be 10 and 15 degrees cooler or colder than these freeze areas in this light blue area. You've got, of course, all your wind and gale warnings, lake effect snow watches, flash flood watches. Like I said, up in the Northwest, we're getting a lot of weather. Usually these brown areas, guys, are some type of high wind warning, things like that. So we're in the middle of a very cold winter, but we're about a month at least ahead of time for this type of weather, for it to be this cold. Still December for us here. And you see cold weather, but these are like late January and February temperatures now. We didn't get the cooling in the Gulf or in the Atlantic that we needed from the hurricane season. I mentioned that at the end of the last hurricane season, that because of that, we're going to see more and more moisture build up in the Gulf and the Atlantic, because that increased temperature is what you're seeing storm up out there, pulling the moisture out of that warmer water. And so usually when it gets up into the Northeast there, you guys really get hit. But what I want you to do, again, go to National Weather Service, which is weather.gov, G-O-V, and click on the map, check out your area. But I'm going to click right here because it's going to cover about 3 states. Now, this was updated 15 minutes ago at 3:15 p.m. Central, coming out of the National Weather Service here in Jackson, Mississippi. And what you're looking at are counties from Ashley, Franklin, Taylorsville, Mississippi, McGee, Jackson, Raleigh, all through the area. And let's go on down. I'm not going to read all those counties because it's basically the entire state. What they're talking about is dangerous cold wind chills as low as 10 degrees Fahrenheit expected. Low temperatures from the mid-teens to near 20 across the entire area. And that's going to be tomorrow night also, and it's going to be very cold tomorrow. Portions of southeast Arkansas, northeast Louisiana, and central, east central, north central, northeast, northwest, south central, southeast, southwest, and west central Mississippi, plus the Florida Panhandle, Alabama, and Georgia. Anyway, it's going to be bad. You've got to. They talk about your pets, plants, pipes, all of that, antifreeze. I know I'm repeating this to the choir of a good bit of you, but sometimes I think, because I kind of look at it during these weather changes a lot, that everybody doesn't have time to do that. Anyway, frostbite and hypothermia can occur with prolonged exposure in these dangerous cold wind chills and low temperatures. Now, let me pull that up just a little. This is coming out of Birmingham, Alabama, moving over east just a little bit. But all the names that you know in here are guys: Marion, Tuskegee, Gadsden, Dadeville, Tuscaloosa, Selma, Phoenix City, Utah. All of them are here. Well, they're talking about the same thing, but a little colder. 5 degrees instead of 10 that's the wind chill factor. And that's the killer. Again, make sure your pets and the elderly or the handicapped or anyone you know that may be in a position they could lose heat or something like that, pipes burst. And we've already cut off most of the water to the outside hydrants, drain them, and out to the shop and all of that. But if you leave some on, you better leave it dripping. Now, again, all of that going down to 5 degrees north to as low as 15 degrees south early in the morning. That's all of central Alabama. It keeps on going down through here out of Mobile. And all the names you know there. We're looking at Fort Walton Beach, Florida, Greenville, Molino, Pine Hill, Pensacola Beach here, Riot, Navarre Beach, Baldwin Coastal, Escambia, Inland. I know most of these places, guys. Bay Minette, Evergreen, Orange Beach, you know where we're talking about, all the way down to Fort Morgan, Richton, Lucedale, Gulf Breeze. Let's see what they're saying. Very cold wind chills as low as 12 degrees, so that's just 2 degrees warmer than our 10 and 4 degrees warmer than Alabama's 8. So that's southwest Alabama, northwest Florida, and southeast Mississippi. So again, go to your area. These are going to be dangerous, and the reason I'm highlighting is because we don't have to deal with those temperatures a lot. And you have a beautiful, bright, sunny day like today, and maybe it slipped your mind, but again, take care of people, pets, plants, and pipes, okay? Now, let's go to the other thing I want to talk about. Now, I want to show you a YouTube channel called Ray's Astrophotography. I'm subscribed to it, and if you take a look, these are the last 2 videos. Click on videos, you'll see this one and this one. Start here with the one a day ago, and then there was another one 18 hours. But in here, what I'm starting to see, and he's got good equipment, tracking data coming into the computer. He can pull up the movies, everything. He said in this one, and it caught our attention, is that he's just about determined it is not a comet. And he said he's reluctant to say it's like some type of craft. Could it be a broken piece of planet? In other words, he's trying to figure out something in between what, of course, NASA is going to say it's a comet. But he's got very good images. And he's saying it's definitely not a comet now, and he kind of hesitates to step into what else could it be. Let me say this, guys. We are told in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation, that events will happen, that things will come upon this earth. And we're told to watch for different events. Watch the stars, watch the heavens, the moon and the stars. At one point in time, those things are going to happen. We weren't giving a date, and I'm not going to give a date because I have no clue. You can look for signs of the times, and people have done that for thousands of years, probably. Anyway, more and more of these astrophotographers are starting to back away from that comet theory, except for mainstream. And Ray, he does a video a day at least most of the time, and most of the time it's about 3I Atlas. Now, notice he still got the title there, but then here you'll hear him talk about, and it's a very good video that he's got. He's got some of the newest videos, and he dims it down the way I do so you can look at the core. And I was amazed. I said, finally, somebody's starting to do something that makes sense. And he talks about it. He said it looks like a spinning wheel to him. But I want to say something else. Back when we first saw the thermal images of 3I Atlas come around the sun, it was so bright beside the sun that these cameras and these type telescopes could not see it. But there was a thermal telescope that was pointed in that direction off the top right corner of our sun. And those images are the ones that we're about to look at. You've seen them before. And I'm going to look and see if I've got a way to email him those images. I'd like for him to take a look at it because he was trying to figure out what was going on with the rotation. It appeared that it was rotating, lights flickering, things like that. And what could it be? Again, spinning wheel is definitely a biblical term. And we know there's going to be a return. Now, how did Ezekiel leave? These things happen. So again, at one point in time, those prophecies are going to happen. And it tells us men's heart will fail them when they see that. Days of darkness, things like that. And I say it's a group, it's a craft. And he was talking about it looks like something around it, that glow around it. And I've been saying that is a shield from Jump Street. And he's showing basically the rotation of the shield or the flickering of the shield. And what they're doing is the same thing that science fiction has done for a long, long time, from Star Trek up to Independence Day with Will Smith. And if you remember the big giant craft that came down, they couldn't affect it. They would fire these missiles out of the jets and things like that, and they couldn't get through the shields. Remember that? That all comes from technology that certain people have probably known about for a very long time. That's what we're seeing. So I'm going to show you the image that I'm talking about. You've seen it before, but take a screenshot from this because, and if so that you'll have one, but you can share it. Some of you may know Ray, or you may know some of the other people that do this, and just get their opinion. Tell them you can use it, whatever you want to do with it. And it's the only ones that I know of that are out there that are like this now. But from the beginning, I said this is a group of objects. And then when we got the thermal camera images in, then I said definitely a group of objects. And what we're seeing out front is not a coma from a comet, but the shields themselves. But guys, if you remember, this is one of the images in the bottom, in the big shield that's out in front, because that's the direction it's going, that's why the main energy of the shield is there. Not only would it protect from, if there was some type of a missile coming, but you got meteorites and asteroids and things like that can do a lot of damage, and it would be like a deflector shield in that capacity. But this is one of the objects in the very bottom of it. Again, thermal imaging, no AI involved in this at all, it's just breaking it down. And then these are mechanical parts. You see this left turn right here, and then some type of what I'm calling outdrives. And I would say ion engines, because that would be the easiest, cheapest way, most reliable for them to move around. And some of you guys, probably a lot of you, watch Ray's videos, and what he was showing was that a circle like this, and it looked like it was flickering and rotating. And I'm saying that's the energy involved in this moving shield. Again, this is that lower section. You see these mechanical parts. If you zoom in on this, it almost looks like some type of space station, guys. Different sections going out left and right, and a long cylinder tube there. And through here, it's not that clear. But that's all that's here. It's a thermal image. Everything's been darkened down to where you cannot even see the stars. And you start pulling the heat back up, and this is what we got. And if you look below, at the very bottom of the picture, notice that I was showing you these two sections. Excuse me, I just got it pulled up on my old video. But look at the section here. Look at that. And what I'm seeing there, again, you get those two out thrusters, bottom section, then that larger section, possibly part of the main ion engine that would also be used in the energy needed for this mothership to generate that shield that we're seeing. That's what Ray is showing, and there's multiple craft within that this thing's projecting. So you've got the main drive system in the bottom. That's a mechanical device. Look at that. That's showing up in thermal heat imaging. Other craft around it, look up at the top. You can pull in different sections. But guys, anyway, if you want to just share the video with Ray, or tell him to take a look at, or screenshot these images, I would love to hear his opinion about it. Because there's definitely things in inside this field that are mechanical. There's many of them. Let's take a look right up here again. And there's some very interesting objects up here. Now, if we look at this, let me pull it up just a little. Here's that top section. I said it looks like some type, and I've got that cursor in the way. Back it back down. Some type of craft here, long cylinder, looks like the space shuttle type situation there. And then they've got, if the shuttle now has, or the space station, not the shuttle, excuse me, the space station has Chinese, Russian, different units that are attached to it now. It's so full that there's no more available bays for that type of landing. And that's exactly what this is looking like. Long cylinder, you can see from the light on it, in section coming out here, and then this looks like what, with that extra glow, part of its outdrive. A lot of activity going on here. And then on the smaller objects, it looks like some type of small craft, guys, that maybe it's like jets to an aircraft carrier that can move very quickly in and out of a situation if they needed to. And just backing it out again, there's no way, guys, again, look at the bottom section of this. Look, that's a mechanical, I'm not saying it's human-made machine, but the crafts that Ezekiel and them saw, many say it was a wheel within a wheel. It was some type of device, not this large, because this is very large, but a device that could come down, land on the planet, and take people out. So I don't know what's going on, the timing of it. I know it's a craft. I know it's a group of craft. The timing of it coinciding with the threats of a nuclear attack coming from Russia to not only France, but to the UK too, things like that. They would understand that, the timing. They came by all the inner solar system planets. They could have gathered data. They may have dropped off some type of probe that would gather data. They would be on top of everything happening, including nuclear code activation. But something's going to happen. It's going to be very terrible, because we're talking about the tribulation of man. And people that say that we're not going to be here for the tribulation, then you're going against what Jesus Christ told us. He said, in those days after the tribulation, you will see the Son of Man returning. So you've got to keep your mind open. The entire Earth is inflamed in chaos and conflict right now, the entire planet. And that's when something always happens. Something always happens to slow down the destruction, whether it's a flood, a freeze, and this time by fervent heat. We just don't know, but I know what I see. And it is a group of craft and some type of electromagnetic shield, and the sparkling that people are seeing on it here, even in the new images, is because of that. That shield is constantly putting out energy, and probably, again, coming from this large ion drive mothership. Anyway, that's my update on this, guys. By the way, thank y'all. A lot of people went in and pre-ordered the new CD. I'm going to link it below in the comments. Keep pre-ordering it, guys. Tomorrow's Monday. They should start the printing and all, and I'm hoping by Christmas, no later than New Year's, to have it back in package. And Tina's already got the printouts from the pre-orders ready. Their labels will go on. A lot of you have ordered our CDs before. This is my favorite for many reasons. But anyway, all of that's being prepared. But I'm going to put the link down below. Don't stop. Go over to to our YouTube channel. Look in the favorite section right below it, and 12 songs will pop up to the right that are on that CD. Again, those are compressed MP4 files. The CD is an audio file, WAV file. But both sound good. There's a difference though, and if you want to have a hard copy of it, that's what you get. When you do your downloads, are very enjoyable. That's basically what you're hearing on the YouTube videos, is the compressed signal, again, because of bandwidth limitations. But you don't have that when you're burning your CDs and mastering them and mixing them. You keep it at the highest quality, and then that's what the CD gets you. You're going to enjoy it. The people that have listened to the last 3 CDs, again, they sound good, naturally compressed, but it just opens up a new. When you compress signals down, you have loss. You open it up, let all the data come through. You don't have that loss. So again, thank you so much. It means a lot to us that people like it enough to pre-order and to get them. They're going to be here before you know it. So get your order in. Thank you so much. It's a heads up. Be safe.